This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson, and you're watching Newsload. And today I am honored to be talking all the way to Australia with Max Kraynov. Hello, Max. How are you today?
Hi, Carrie. Life is good. How are you?
Good, 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 good. So, what's the weather like in Australia right now?
Well, currently it's raining. So maybe, for those who use Celsius, it's plus 35. For those who use Fahrenheit, it's roughly 80 degrees.
Wow, wow, plus 35. That sounds lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It's the best weather in the world.
Yeah, it really
That's
is.
my take. It makes happy people.
Yes, for sure. I've been told that you could every day travel Australia and you couldn't be able to see every single beach that is available.
That is correct. I think it's like 7,000 beaches or something. I'm just, making the number up, but it's, something like that.
Have you hit a lot of beaches?
Let me think. Not as many as I could. But again, so once you reach the number of maybe 1,000, there is a chance that you're going to be eaten. So, yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
should probably stick to the ones that are safe. Well,
Yeah.
everything wants to eat you.
Yeah. There are crocodiles, there are snakes, there are, like crazy amounts of animals. That's very funny.
We have a wonderful animal called the drop bear. That's one of the imaginary animals that resembles a koala, but which is carnivorous. That we kind of make fun of all tourists who come in, and we say, just be very mindful of drop bears because they can be everywhere, and they jump on you and they just slice your throat and eat you.
And
People believe it.
The reason why they're called drop bear is because they're koalas and they fall asleep and then they fall out of the tree. Yeah.
I've never seen a koala fall out of the tree, honestly, but I'm sure at some point during the evolution it happened, and the ones that fell off the tree, did not reproduce. So now we have only the koalas that are holding on to branches like really well.
And the koalas have chlamydia, yes?
Oh, I'll need to ask my doctor. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't got any from the contact with them, but it wasn't a very close contact. And they stink, by the way. They stink a lot. So, it's a natural repellent for humans.
And apparently eucalyptus isn't very nutritious. So they have to eat a lot of it. And, then they sleep all day and then fall out of the tree.
True, but what I've also heard is that so the eucalyptus tree leaves have a little bit of like drug in them, some sort of something that acts like a drug for koalas. So they're always happy and high. Don't know, haven't tried. So I tried eating a couple of them, but I didn't get high, so I stopped doing it.
Sounds like a typical stoner: stinky, high, and always sleeping.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, I like it. It's a wonderful perspective.
Where are you from originally? That doesn't sound like an Australian accent.
It doesn't sound, as much as I try to copy the accent, I can't. So I was born in Russia. I spent 20 years there and moved to the US for 5 years and then moved to Australia. So it's been my, 17, almost 18 years now.
So you went from extreme cold Russian to extreme hot Australia. That's a smart choice.
Off. I'll do it again any time of the day and any day of the year. It's just so good.
It's getting cold in Canada, and one of my least favorite things is the fact that the air hurts my face, and I don't understand why people, voluntarily stay here where, and it's pain, like you get in from the cold and you hit the button on the elevator and your fingers hurt. Like it's not a lot of fun this cold. I need to go visit you in Australia.
Oh, absolutely. Well, sometimes when it's cold, so you put a finger somewhere and it sticks. and it hurts even more. So don't try doing that with your tongue. That's the worst.
That's the typical Canadian story. Don't lick the ice on metal because you will.
Yeah.
It's frightening. So you are involved in a lot of things. You seem to be a bit of a workaholic.
No, I'm a very lazy person. I just do whatever has the highest impact, and we have smart people who do the rest.
Ah, that's wonderful. So you micromanage kind of thing.
Quite the opposite. I delegate as much as I can.
Wonderful.
Yeah, if something requires my involvement, which is usually like policy management or working with partners, then yeah, that's where actually I kick in. But most other things, which are business as usual, we have better qualified people to do so.
So you're involved in FunCore, Neurodive, Exocus. You're the chairman of Avius Sales.
I used to be. I resigned a year ago. Too much trouble. But I did spend 10 years in that company as a CEO, so grew it really well. So from 9 people to I think 550 or so. Then it was time for me to leave. But yeah, so that's why I was looking for a new place, and I knew the founders of FunCorp, and so we. Miraculously, we met in San Francisco about 7 years ago, Google's invitation. And I could not believe that a simple app for meme lovers could be not just profitable, could be insanely profitable. So that completely blew my mind. I couldn't believe it's actually possible, but I saw the numbers. So I asked for numbers. Like, what am I doing wrong with my life? So, yeah, and just by the stroke of luck, we were in touch with the founders, and it just happened naturally. So when I left the previous company.
Well, I have to admit that I love the meme app iFunny, which is what I'm in love with. And the advertisements are hot, and the links that you connect with them to be able to get to the advertisements. And it's interesting because I even see advertisements for local events. Like I have a local friend who puts on a trivia night, and their trivia ads go through. Is that through Google Ads or?
Yes, something like that. Yes, so we have a mechanism to kind of to get a bunch of advertising units which are specific to a user's location, to probably interests if they can be guessed. And well, in your case, that would be the location, obviously. And yeah, that's what you see. So if you are on an iOS device, then the targeting wouldn't be that good. For Android, it's much better. So you will get local events, you will get something that could be like literally 1 block away from you.
Yeah, no, it's really wonderful to be able to look at memes from all over the world, which are hilarious. And I have to admit, I download them and I share them with my girlfriends, especially the funny cat videos. And right now it's Thanksgiving in the States. So there's a lot of, like hatred of cranberry sauce and such, which I disagree. I think the cranberry sauce adds the tartness to the grease of the gravy, which is very necessary to, have a combination of palate, cleansers. You don't want all grease all the time. You want the tartness of the cranberries, but I digress. That's my argument. That's the hill that I stand on for the Thanksgiving world. But the movie comparison and everything's so relatable in the memes that literally the whole world can relate to, and you have helped develop this to be able to have us all get together and laugh and enjoy ourselves. And I thank you so much for
I'm very pleased. Oh, you're so kind. Yes, I can. But yeah, you are raising a wonderful point that memes, as opposed to just jokes or, let's say, social content, we call memes the asocial content, because they're not about the sender, they are not about the recipient. They are about a concept or event, something that where a picture is worth 1,000 words. And that is exactly what memes are. That's exactly what people share them because, as you've said, they are very relatable. You have that like small pinch in your head whenever it's like, yes, that's exactly what it is. I need to, and then you think, okay, I need to either save it on my device or save it and send it to my friends and so on. Or look, that is the problems that you're having, especially work-related memes, right? There is no shortage of them. You can spend the whole day just sending them around. So that's wonderful. Another thing is, I do remember it was 2013. So I was back in my previous company, and I presented at a very like highbrow event where like people in their suits, early 60s. So I was like under 40 back then. They were very, very, very serious. And the only way to actually get to them was to to put lots of funny images and memes into the presentation itself. I do remember, I feel like it's been 10 years, more than 10 years. I do remember the gasp that people said, oh, really? Is that allowed? That guy, well, I wasn't wearing a suit. That guy, he showed, there was a picture of a boy, if you remember that boy. Nothing. I dare look at the 1-year-old boy, wonderful character, and he was wow. And then they let the guards down, like almost immediately. So that was a very kind of eye-opening experience for me as well. So memes are not just to entertain; they are to get through that, let's say, wall of indifference. It's like, what am I going to learn from that youngster? Well, at least you're going to smile, and whatever puts a smile on your face actually gets to your nerves, and your brain starts operating again.
Absolutely. In my conversation, so many times you have to say something funny and interesting to be able to get their attention. That's why, like talking about the drop bears in Australia and, like silly conversations of relatable things about where you're living that I've never been to Australia, but I know about the drop bears and being able to have amusing conversations, memes, interesting visuals to be able to get their attention. If you can't find the funny, you can't get their attention, and my mother being a teacher, she was always very entertaining, very boisterous, very theatrical. And I learned through my mother, I'll give her props for this, that, to entertain them, you need to grab their attention. You need to educate them with fun and enthusiasm. And it's Robin Williams standing on a desk for Dead Poet Society, like changing their visual. And that's exactly what memes do. And the students in university are really learning this, to put this in their PowerPoint presentations, memes, funny, amusing, and relatable pictures to be able to connect, to grab their attention. And I love it.
I do love it too. And oftentimes I just stopped just writing one-liners and just sending a picture. Like there is a corporate term, that could have been an email. There is no need for a meeting. In this case, there is no need to write 1,000 words. You can just send a picture or two and off you go. Not always, but I do see that lots and lots of companies, even like serious companies, are trying to embrace that as a form of communication. That being said, I absolutely hate with a big passion emojis, and whenever people are using them in written connotations, it drives me mad. I don't know why. Just because, guys, you have got a meme. Use a meme. Why would you? And especially there are people who put emojis after every single word in a sentence, and that becomes, I don't know, like a Christmas tree decoration, right, all over the page, which is where you least expect it. So it's weird, but yeah. But again, so I'm I'm different from
I'm struggling with people who use emojis instead of words, so, we're going.
That's even worse.
And it's
a separate level in hell for that. But literally, but if you think about it, right? So that you have, oh well, you have struck such a big nerve. So we are going back to Egyptian hieroglyphics. That's what we're doing, right? So all of a sudden, so some people say, okay, well, that is going to be the new language, a visual language of communication. That's a good side of the story. The bad side of the story is that you are really depriving yourself of vocabulary, of complex contexts and the ideas, and you are becoming, let's say, functionally illiterate.
Yeah, yeah. And grammar, my mother being an English teacher, grammar, punctuation, proper spelling, absolutely. It's definitely dumbing down the universe, and that is
Yes.
unfortunate. But at the same time, being able to have the memes available with proper spelling,
Proper spelling.
yeah. Allow us to connect. And also because things are so stressful, being able to have that, to be able to keep the conversation going. Have you had any crazy requests or complicated situations that have happened in the app, like with I know that there's a lot of cancel culture and you obviously have to block people on your app and everything. Have there been, like people posting, stuff that's horrific that you have to completely block?
We do. Yeah, that actually. Okay, so I'll answer that question in the following way. There are some people who do it for fun because some people really love shock content. They don't think like that is very serious, right? But they do want the like around 15 seconds of fame. It's but to me, again, I'm not judging these people, right? But do not recommend anybody shout that you have a bomb at the airport, right? So it's just some hygiene that you kind of mental hygiene that you have to have. There are people who want to, so they don't know the rules pretty much. And again, to state the obvious, people are very different. And whatever is unacceptable to me may be very acceptable to someone else. And that is not about the cancel culture per se. That is just simply about things that are just, we all live in our universes, right? With our own sense of normality. So there are certain things that are not allowed. There are simple things that are like nudity, for example, and that is not because we kind of don't like it, right? Don't quote me on that. The thing is, a single nude picture may lead to us having our apps kicked out of app stores. So things like that. There are certain very, very sensitive topics, and I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about just things that are, well, related to, to certain, let's say, moral things like, dead bodies and stuff like that. There is no shortage of that. There is no shortage of that, trust me. So we do have a very sophisticated neural network which monitors every single submission. So we do have a score that thing is public because we exposed it to others to see. So so we have that automatic, we call that auto moderation, automatic compliance. So if it's below a certain threshold, we put that content into collective for others to see and vote for. But if it is within, if it's above the threshold, but still within an acceptable range, it gets reviewed by a human. And we have a probably 200 page long document saying what's allowed and what's not allowed. Because there are, you can't, well, you think you can establish a rule, but actually you cannot. There are so many edge cases. Like so, you need to know. They do. It's like common law, right? Which has evolved over time, right? So the app has been around for 12 years. So we have accumulated huge body of knowledge about what's allowed, what's not allowed, and it's not even about like do we care about what people think about us or not. It's not that. It's not that we are kind of afraid of being cancelled, but there are certain things, and that space evolves. So even if we do everything right, it does feel like you're jumping on a minefield on one leg.
Absolutely.
So
No, it's fascinating. And you're absolutely right. Nudity, dead bodies, that's not funny so much. And unfortunately, it might trigger someone. So it's
yeah,
absolutely good to have that censored and restricted. And I appreciate the fact that you guys.
that's another thing. Let's say doxing other people. For example, it's yeah, we shoot it on the spot whenever we see it. It's just yeah, so it's fun in games and everything, but if it's invasion of somebody's privacy, sorry, the buck stops there. We do not allow that. And again, that rule book is 200 pages long. Plus I checked. So, but yeah, and we have human moderators who are kind of checking content that may or may not be acceptable. Yeah, computers do miracles, so our hit rate is really good.
Fascinating, fascinating. Well, Max, I could talk to you all day about this. It's fascinating. Your app is absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you enough for 12 years of having funny memories that have touched me and supported me and encouraged me every day. And thank you so very much. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend in Australia. And and so again, people want to check out iFunny. It's an app to download. And anything else you want to plug?
Just download it and play away.
Yeah, and maybe buy Google Ads if you want to promote your local event, eh?
Oh, totally. By all means, it's always a good idea.
Yeah.
Always a good idea.
Okay, Max, well, you have an amazing day, and thank you so much. And one last thing, if you don't mind, to say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload.
I love Newsload.
Thank you, Max. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, Carrie.
This is the Newsload.